I will be doing my capstone presentation here, and I will be doing it on the big idea of government and tying that to Caesar Augustus's laws and his ruling style. According to Stephen Fife, Augustus is well known for being the first emperor of Rome, but even more than that for being a self-proclaimed restorer of the republic. He believed in ancestral values such as monogamy, chastity, and piety, or virtue. Thus, he introduced a number of moral and political reforms in order to improve Roman society and formulate a new Roman government and lifestyle. The basis on each of these reforms was to revive traditional Roman religion in the state. Religion and political and moral reforms is really the bread and butter of Augustus. It's pretty much what he loved to do and to give the people the right to do was to do whatever religion they want. He did have more of a traditional thinking in it being Catholic, but he did not bring anyone's religion down. In fact, he actually made sure that even the temples, not just the churches, but also the temples, were cleaned, the streets were cleaned, so that there was no horse poo or sewage that was just, right on top of where these people were going to mass or to pray, wherever that they decide they need to go to the church or the temple for, the mosque, things like that. And Caesar Augustus, also known as Gaius Julius Caesar Augustus, or simply referred to Augustus, or later on I will refer to him as Octavian, all the same person. He was the first emperor of Rome, as Stephen said, and that is really that's his big thing. Is he's the first emperor of Rome, and he's this great, wonderful ruler that everyone loved, that brought on 200 years of peace and was a foundation for modern government, and he was copied, and all bunch of stuff like that. According to Michael Grant, Octavian, however, believed that his supreme prestige crystallized in the meaningful term octorius, safeguarded him against any defiance by these personages, and he was indeed able, more or less indirectly, to influence their appointments, just as he was able, on rare occasions what he regarded as desirable, to influence the appointments to the consulship and other metropolitan offices that continue to exist in the republic fashion. And that's another big thing. That's his big things right there are that he loves the people, and any way to make the people feel better, he will make a very good attempt to do. And the people really felt good under a republic, so he wanted to keep that republican fashion and with the Senate. But if the Senate decided to do something that he didn't think was good for the people or for his own safety, then he would stop them. And that is, some people might see that as a bad thing, like he's abusing his power because he's not really a republic, but it was never a republic to begin with, so he's just being a very generous uh, dictator or emperor. And Barry Strauss um, gives his rendition, his synthesis of the in the Roman Road lessons in governance from Caesar Augustus. And this is something Caesar Augustus had said, something he had written, and is translated, and Barry Strauss makes a comment on it. When I had extinguished the flames of civil war, after receiving by universal consent the absolute control of affairs, I transferred the republic from my own control to the will of the Senate and the Roman people. For this service on my part, I was given the title of Augustus by decree of the Senate. And that really shows that he loved the people, and the people loved him, and they wanted to give him this reward almost of decreeing him as Augustus. And that goes back to what Michael Grant said, the meaningful term Accordius, or Augustus. And that's the Senate is the big thing there, and the Roman people, the people that he loved, the Senate that he introduced himself, these are big things for him, and he wanted to make sure that they were given full reign to do what they felt necessary, but also were restricted a little bit in so that they made sense for the people. And the copying of Augustus by other countries such as the United States and France and Italy and Germany and the United Kingdom, England more specifically, Russia, countries in the Middle East, India, China, all of them copying what he did, really puts him up on this figure of how great he is. And that relative peace I was talking about for 200 years, he obviously didn't rule for 200 years. He only ruled for a little over 40, but that the rest of that time was in peace because of what he was able to bring to the country of Rome and that empire that he made. The foundation of modern governments that we have now, like the ones I mentioned before, not Rome, France, Greece, Italy, China, Russia, United States, United Kingdom, England, places like that, Great Britain, to a certain extent. Uh, it's so crazy to see all of the things he was able to push forward for his people that are now being used for other countries and other empires, even republics like our own. And I was shocked to actually learn that that he is Octavian. Octavian and Caesar Augustus are the same person. And I think that the reason I didn't realize that beforehand was really because when you think of Caesar Augustus, or you think of the name Caesar, you think of Julius Caesar, but it's a different person. It's a whole different way of governing between the two, even though they are related. It's slightly different in how they truly go about it. Oh, and then back to the America thing, and the foundation that he gave us, the rights and stuff like that, that he was able to put forth the marriage rights, and that's something that we have done here in America that we struggled with a little bit early on, but now we've really hit the stride of marital rights and rights of women, rights of children, rights of people who are not the same color, not white. So stuff like that. My least favorite part, though, by far, was the writing. I'm not a big writer. I kind of struggled with it a little bit, but this class I really tried my best and I did really good on the writing. But that was definitely the hardest part.